Good morning everyone, how are we doing? Welcome back to a new vlog. It is Thursday morning. I'm actually sat in our main bathroom, which I never ever come in. The only time I come in here is if I want to have a bath, because we have a bath in here. But that hasn't been that frequent lately. In the winter I'm having a bath every single night, but in the summer I don't really come in here. And this is our guest bathroom really, so whenever guests come, I come in here to give it a good clean and sort out. But apart from that, I never come in here, and I don't know why, because it's such a lovely room. It gets beautiful morning light. I've actually had to shut the blind a little bit because it was so bright. And since my dressing room is out of action, I thought, do you know what? This is such a nice room for me to do my makeup in. So I brought in a little stool and I'm going to sit in here now. Speaking of the dressing room, I thought we could just start this vlog with a little bit of an update while I get ready. So, dressing room plans are going ahead. I have actually decided on the paint. I did put a couple of stories up on Instagram getting your guys' advice, and all the paint colours that you guys loved are the ones that I didn't want to go for. So I kind of made my mind up. I wanted to go for something that was quite creamy and quite similar to our bedroom because I wanted it to have a bit of warmth to it. And I'm really loving creamy neutral paints that have warmth and they're not super white. Like these walls are white because I whitewashed this room very, very roughly when we first moved in. But I'm really loving slightly creamier tones, almost like a buttermilk kind of colour. So yeah, I will show you all my samples in a second. But samples have been selected and the paint is on order, which is very exciting. My brother did actually say to me that he was free tomorrow, which is Friday, to start painting. But the paint hasn't arrived yet, so unless it comes today, I am not sure if that's going to go ahead. Next up is making decisions on flooring. I am definitely going to go for a wood floor in there. And I've got lots of samples to go through, so I will show you those and we can look at those together. I'm hoping that I can get the floor ordered pretty much as soon as the painting begins. But today is a lovely sunny day. We've had a little bit of kind of a blip as July began earlier this week, and it's been really cloudy and actually quite cold. Yesterday it was pretty freezing, but it hasn't been the end of the world because I have had a very boring week, which is why I haven't vlogged anything, because I have just been at my desk in the office every single day. I am working on something at the moment which I'm really excited about, and it's just something I've been thinking about doing for ages. I'm not going to go into too much detail now, but I think maybe later in the video I will touch on it a little bit. But I'm very pleased to see some sunshine this morning. So took Basil out for his morning walk and he had a really good run around. I actually just stood in the field and let him just go absolutely nuts, and he was having the best time, like proper zoomies, which was really good. So I'm hoping he's got a lot of the morning energy out. I mean, he is crying downstairs because he's in the kitchen and he was asleep, and then he can hear me talking and then he starts crying. I'm just putting a bit of makeup on. I literally am not wearing makeup at the moment and I'm really enjoying it. Whenever I'm at home and just having like days in the garden, days in the office, I am literally not putting a scrap of makeup on. I am only wearing my skincare and I'm really, really enjoying it. I just feel like it's such a nice chance to let my skin properly breathe, and I honestly think my skin is thanking me for it because when I put makeup on, it just looks so amazing. But I am putting some makeup on because I'm going out today. Woohoo! Today's an exciting day because I am dropping Basil off at Jack's mum and dad's house. He is going over to the farm for a little play date, and we're still continuing kind of getting the dogs used to each other, and this was one of the things that the dog trainer recommended, was to drop Basil off without me and kind of just let him spend a few hours with the dogs. So that is what's happening today and I'm very excited. And while Basil is over at the farm having fun, I am making full use of having a bit of time to get out the house without Basil and do something nice. So I messaged my mum and I said, do you want to meet up? Do you want to do something? She said, yes, of course. So we are actually going to Sissinghurst Castle Gardens today. I just said to her, I really fancy a nice long walk around somewhere really lovely, because I can't really do any long walks with Basil yet because he can only walk for 20-30 minutes. So we're going to do a nice long walk around the gardens and then probably get a coffee or something in the cafe. And I've only been there once with Jack and I remember it was absolutely beautiful, but we went in winter so it was quite cold. So I'm really excited to go in summer and see what it looks like because I think it's going to be beautiful. I remember the cafe was really lovely, so I'm excited. So that is the plan of today, which will be so nice, and it'll be good to get some inspo from like beautiful gardens. And it's also not too far away, so I'm kind of on call just in case Jack's mum brings me and it's all a nightmare and she says, please can you come and pick up Basil? So I'm just around the corner, which is brilliant. So it's 8:20. It is super early, but I've done my makeup. I think I'm just gonna leave my hair like this today. And I just need to get dressed and then we're ready. I'm not leaving until about 10:15. So I've still got quite a bit of time, but I need to do some bits on my laptop and have some breakfast, and then we can load up the car and head off. And I need to get dressed as well. Don't know what to wear today because it's very windy. And in the sun, it's lovely and warm, but in the shade, it feels freezing cold. So I think it's gonna be jeans and layers kind of day, so that if I'm too hot, I can take the layers off. But yeah, I'm happy to be back vlogging. It feels like I've really got my rhythm back with vlogging now, and I just feel so much happier, and I don't know, I just feel like I've got back on top of life. And after like, I don't know, the last few months of just readjusting to life and new routines, it feels really good to have kind of a solid routine back, which is brilliant. And hopefully you like that too, because I'm more frequent with my vlogs, which from my Instagram DMs seems to be something that you guys really wanted. So I'm super happy. Okay, sample time. The dressing room looks exactly the same as it did in the last vlog, but I have paint samples on the walls. Now, I painted the samples on every single wall in this room to see it in different lights, different times of day, and I also painted it on different bits of paper so that I could move them around. So these are my 3 options. These are all from the Paint and Paper library. I love their paints. They are absolutely stunning, and I really like the colour choices. So this is stone number 1, sand 1, and canvas 1. They kind of have like a range, and then they'll have multiple different strains of that colour, so they'll get slightly darker. They do look very similar on camera, but stone is a little bit pinkier. Sand has got this really nice creamy warmth, and then canvas is actually quite greeny toned. So they are all very different. You can kind of tell the difference a little bit more on this wall, I think because of the shadows that this wall creates. So as you can see, canvas is a lot greenier, sand has got this nice creamy tone, and then stone is quite pink. Again, over here, hopefully it comes up on camera, true to the colours, but yeah, greeny, bit more creamy, and then pinky. So the one I've decided to go for is actually sand. This is my little sample on the paper. So sand is quite a nice creamy neutral colour, and I think this is the floor I'm going to go for. I've just been testing it out in different lightings around the room, and I think that is going to be really gorgeous. So this is from Direct Wood Flooring, and it's Duke Cappuccino Oak. This is a click system, so it fits together, as you can see here, really, really easily, and it's quite a nice thick board, which is what I wanted in here, because the floor is obviously the old floorboards, so I wanted something thicker that would kind of soften the room a little bit. So I think this colour is going to be beautiful, just a really nice, simple wood. It's a little bit cool toned, but it has got that really nice warmth through it, which is kind of what I wanted. I didn't want anything too grey and cold, but equally I didn't want something really yellowy. So I think these are gonna look really, really lovely, and I'm very excited to get this room painted. Need to sort this wallpaper out still, but yeah, that is the update. So hopefully my brother will be here in the next, someday within the next week, and he will get cracking on painting, and it does not take him long to paint at all. So I don't think that will take too long. If he doesn't start painting tomorrow, then potentially this weekend we could actually start finishing off the paneling. So we could actually come up here and sort out this wall. I can sand off that wallpaper. We can finish off that last bit of paneling on this wall, which will just be one big box at the top and the bottom. So super simple. And then also on this wall as well, we will just continue the dado rail along, and then one big box at the top and the bottom. And then we need to do the shelves in here, because I need a lot of shelves to fill this gap. So we shall see. It's all a bit up in the air at the minute. Not sure on any timings, but yeah, very, very excited. And I'm glad that I finally confirmed the paint. It's ordered, it's on its way. I know what floor I'm getting, so I can order that. Actually, I'm going to take this downstairs so I can get that ordered. Right, I have just dropped off Basil at Jack's parents' house, and I'm just heading to go meet my mum. Oh my god, he's just so cute. It's like dropping your child off at nursery or something, because I gave her his lunch and like his little blanket and his lead and stuff, and he could obviously smell his lunch, so he was just staring at Lisa the whole time like, can I have my food now? So yeah, that is that, all done. So I'm heading off to, we're going to Sissinghurst Castle. I can't remember if I said this already this morning. And we're just gonna have a little walk around, nice catch up. I love having a catch up with like a friend or my mum when you're walking, because you feel like you're doing something. So I've actually got quite a lot of layers on today. I feel like I'm ready for like autumn weather in this outfit, because it's quite cold. I'm wearing my gorgeous Fairfax and Favour jacket, which is perfect for this weather. I absolutely love this. The driveway is so bumpy, so I feel like my camera is going everywhere. Yeah, I absolutely love this. It's like a really gorgeous herringbone tweed with tan suede detailing. And then I've just got this old mohair cashmere jumper from M&M and white jeans. And I have got my loafers on from Scarosso, but I've also got, by the way, I'm on the driveway. I've literally just started to come out the gate, so I'm not doing this while I'm driving. But I've got my boots as well, my Amazon boots, and some socks, because I don't know if it's gonna be muddy. But I need to text my mum and let her know that I'm just leaving, and then we will be off. And I'm only gonna be out for like a few hours, and then I'll go and collect him again. He's just gonna go there for like 2 or 3 hours. Just, it's nice for him to do something when I'm not there, get him used to it, because that's where he'll kind of be when we go away and stuff. And we have got a couple of things coming up where we're going to be away, so we kind of wanted to just get him used to it now. But I think that's it. So I will see you when I get there. pretty. That's quite a good idea for my trough.
Yeah.
That's very similar.
That looks really modern.
I like that.
Like, what I mean is it looks different.
Yeah, it's only cow parsley.
These are just those dart things, aren't
Yeah,
they?
this is what's really bad for dogs.
Oh.
It gets stuck in their paws, I think.
Maybe that's not good.
Oh, I like the idea of this though.
But the idea of these, you like daisies as well.
Yeah, and it's white and green.
These are
Cow parsley. Okay, as you would have seen, we have been walking around all the gardens. The vegetable garden was incredible. And we've just been having a little walk around. And we've just got to one of the big lakes, which is my favourite because look at this jetty. This is my dream, to have a pond or a lake and a jetty, wooden jetty, with a boat at the end. Just imagine if this was in your house. You just came down here, maybe there's like a little boat tied up. Oh, just dreamy, so amazing. What sandwich is that, please? Jam? No, I'll get these. Hello, I am back home and honestly had such a lovely time at Sissinghurst Castle. It is beautiful there. Picked Basil up. I just went into the farm and had a drink with Lisa and a bit of a catch up. Basil was a very good boy, it sounds, and I think also the other dogs were amazing too, which was so lovely. If you can hear that noise, it's Basil eating his lunch. But yeah, just so happy. I think it went really well. And I think we're going to do the same next week, and then in a couple of weeks he might be having a bit of an overnight stay, which is really exciting. And I never leave empty-handed from the farm. I have left with Jack's grandpa's new potatoes straight from his garden, which is amazing. So I think I'll be making another potato salad at the weekend, which is lovely. And I also have some deliveries to share, but I have a call with my management in literally 5 minutes, so I've just poured some water because I've got a bit of a headache. I think it's because I wore the wrong outfit today and I was absolutely boiling, sat having a scone in the sunshine. So water, log on to my call, do the call, and then I can show you my deliveries that have arrived. Just about to log on to the call, but my desk is looking so lovely. I've added my faux hydrangeas that I got from Amazon into this little pot. I picked this up at the garden centre. I think it was like £4, and I just think it's so lovely. Then I've got Maison Margiela candle, obviously my water. This is my diary, and then I've got my notepad, which I'm always writing bits in, and another notepad here, which I'm always writing bits in. So yeah, ready for the call. Let's go. Good morning. It is actually quite a few days later. It's Monday today, and you know I said I had a headache? The headache didn't go away. The headache lasted all day Friday, and then, to be honest, this weekend we just had a really chilled one, and I didn't have so much to show you, and I just was feeling a little bit, not under the weather, but you know when you just feel like your whole body is tired. I just felt a bit like that, and I had really bad toothache yesterday. The back of my tooth and my ear, like this whole side, was really hurting. I don't know what I'd done. It's actually fine today, but it was almost like my gum felt really inflamed at the back, and I wondered if my wisdom tooth was coming through, but it's not hurting now, so who knows. But anyway, it is Monday morning, it's another day, and I have a few things to share with you, a few new updates to show you from the weekend, because although we had a very relaxed weekend, literally long lie-ins, early nights, super chilled. It was really lovely, and actually we haven't had a weekend like that in ages. I feel like ever since we got Basil, every weekend has been filled with being in the garden, doing loads of jobs, people coming over, going out to see people, taking Basil out, and this is the first weekend we've actually just been at home the whole time, and it was lovely. So I know I said to you that I had some deliveries to share with you, and I do. So I have some very exciting bits that I bought myself that I'm so excited about. I treated myself, well, I say treated, these were actually very inexpensive, but I treated myself to a big stack of books. These are all Martha Stewart books, and I have this like fixation with Martha Stewart. I don't know what it is, but that whole era of Martha Stewart when she was younger, and just everything about her massive farm and her gardens and just the sheer size of her house and garden and just all the stuff involved with Martha Stewart, I just love. So I thought I would treat myself to some books. I really wanted to get some new cooking books, and I was browsing on eBay to try and find some, because obviously they're super old. And one of these books actually was brought out, I can't remember if it's the gardening one, but one of them was brought out the year that I was born, 1998. And it's so funny because the book, I think it's one of the recipe books actually, they just look so old school. Like I remember my mum having, I think it was a Nigella book, and she used to use it a lot, like a recipe book. It was massive, it was almost like a Bible. It had everything in, like anything you want to make was in that book. It was humongous, and she had like bookmark pages and like write notes in it, and I loved it. And every time I see a recipe book that's kind of old school, like not a modern day book, I just think back to that. So I thought I would show you what I got. Now if you are wanting to purchase anything, go onto eBay and just type in Martha Stewart book, because honestly there are so many. I refrained from buying too many. I did restrain myself and I bought 5. Could have probably bought about 50, but I refrained and I just bought the ones that I thought looked really good. Sorry, I've got a hair stuck to my lip balm. So firstly I want to talk about this one because I read this back to front yesterday. This is the gardening Martha Stewart book. This is how it looks if you want to pick this up. Honestly, if you love gardening, or you've recently got a garden, or you've just got into gardening, please get this because it is so incredible. The amount of information that she puts in here is amazing. So she splits this up by months. I actually find that really good because you're learning what to do within that month, so you can refer back to this each month and kind of see what you need to do. If you're looking at, I don't know, starting a kitchen garden or a vegetable garden, or you just want to grow a couple of things, you can find out so much in this book. It's so inspiring. So yeah, I literally read the whole thing yesterday. We sat and had breakfast for a couple of hours. We always have a long breakfast on a Sunday morning, and I was just reading this and oh, I just love it. I'll try and show you a couple of, oh my gosh, this photo. I just love how adorable is that. So she's got photos in here which are obviously of her own children, of herself, of her garden, but she also has recipes for the month. She does a monthly journal, which is this. I don't know if that's going to come up, this section here. So she basically writes a list of all the things she did that month. So for example, this is the month of April. This is April. So a few of the things she did was she supported her peonies with some peony rings. She fed the roses. She planted up some of her garden urns with ivy, geraniums, pansies. She continued weeding. Every single month is weeding. I feel like weeding is almost like the hoovering of the garden. She cut the dead wood from the climbing roses. Their tractor broke, so that was sent away for repairs. It's just so amazing. Oh, sweet peas eaten by rabbits, so she replanted those. And then she started planting in the perennial borders and the herb garden. Honestly, I just love it. I really recommend getting this. It's so good. And in the front page, this like opening page, is a map of her entire plot. And it's just wild. The amount of stuff that she has is crazy. The kind of attention to detail of everything as well. Like, she doesn't just have a raised bed. It's like she has a raised bed, but then she's planned out some yew hedges around the edge and like some bluestone paving, so the borders look lovely. And then she might have like an archway of roses to kind of soften it up. Oh, it's just so good. I love it. I've absolutely really enjoyed reading this over the weekend. And I feel like this is going to now be my gardening Bible. Okay, and then a couple of others. I'm not going to read through all of them because we'll be here all day, but I picked up the Martha Stewart Living Cookbook. This is humongous, and I have actually flicked through all of these. This is just a really good recipe book, really. It's got so much information in. It's not just one specific thing. So she covers basics, hors d'oeuvres, breakfast, bread, soup, salad, vegetables, potatoes, pasta, meat, poultry, fish, vegetarian, desserts, cakes, pies, cookies, drinks, and then salsas, sauces, and dips. So there is literally a bit of everything in here. I did get a couple of other recipe books as well. So I've got this one, which is her baking handbook, because if you are a frequent watcher of the vlogs, you may know I am absolutely terrible at baking, and it's something I really want to get better at. I love cooking and like being in the kitchen and doing things, and I love cooking dinners and lunches. That's my favourite. Baking I don't love because I am just so bad at it, and everything I bake turns out terribly. So I want to work on it, and this book so far I've been reading through, it looks really good. Even just down to the way that it's laid out and like the pictures that she uses. She's got a big section at the beginning which is all about like baking tips, items that you need when you're baking. It's very good, and it's just such a nice old school way of doing things. Baking techniques. I think this is really good for like somebody that doesn't know how to bake, or you really want to get into baking. I feel like this is really good because it's almost like for a beginner, which is definitely what I need. And the last one I got was this one, Martha Stewart Entertaining, and I see this all the time on her Instagram. I feel like they reference it so much. This is just a big book of entertaining, really. It's got recipes in there, loads of really good ideas actually, and then she also does little bits on kind of like seasonal things. So she's got a section, let me try to find it. Here we go, the dinner party. So she's got sections for kind of like arranging the tables and floral displays, and it's just really inspiring. I just feel like books like this are so nice to have in your collection. Yeah. Also, just look at this photo on the back of her kitchen. Oh, just insane. So yeah, these are the books that I picked up. Treated myself to a nice stack of Martha Stewart books. I'm really excited about it, to be honest, and I definitely think I'm going to use eBay for buying books a lot more, because I cannot believe they were so inexpensive. They were all from bookshops as well, and they were shipped literally within 2-3 days. So I think for 5 books I paid around £38, and that's including shipping, which is just crazy because now I feel like one book is £38 with shipping. So really chuffed about those. Oh, also another update. If you live in the UK, you will know that the weekend the weather was absolutely horrendous and the wind was just relentless, and our poor hydrangeas got absolutely battered. We actually did support them with some string because they're very leggy, and I was actually looking up why they're so leggy and why they're so tall, and apparently it's when your hydrangeas are not cut, or they're not kind of like pruned at the right times throughout the season. They end up growing really leggy, and it was basically giving advice on how you can stop that and like retrain that in the future. So we're going to be doing a lot of pruning, I think, as it comes to springtime when you prune your hydrangeas. But it did mean that quite a few of them snapped, so we had to bring them inside because they just completely snapped off the heads. And we did bring them inside, so we had a nice dinner last night, so I set the table. And yeah, I just popped them in a vase, but they just look so sad. They smell incredible though, but yeah, very sad, these massive hydrangeas, but at least we can still enjoy them. And the same thing happened with these roses. We have this rose bush, which is ginormous out here, and the same thing happened with these. They just completely snapped off, so I popped them in a little bud vase as well. The wind, honestly, it's just so relentless. Another plant update from inside. Jack has been propagating some hydrangeas from the Limelight Paniculatas, and this one has got some new shoots on, which is really exciting. So this is obviously working wonders because we have quite a few new little leaves on here, which is fab. The only positive thing about this rain is that these hydrangeas look absolutely incredible. I cannot believe how many flowers we have on these this year. When we planted them last year, I think there were about 5 on each one, and they were tiny. Oh, there's a butterfly. Oh, it's gone. But yeah, look at them. They are absolutely massive. And no, let's not lick the let's not lick the flowers. But yeah, all the creamy white petals are coming out. They just look gorgeous. Oh, hello. Have you been sleepy this morning? Also, while I'm talking about the plants, this rose bush has absolutely flourished. So when we moved in, it was so, I think I've said this already, but yeah, it was so bare and like a lot of the stems were quite dead. So we cut it right back, and I mean, there were so many flowers on here, but they've all got bashed in the wind. So I've deadheaded it yesterday, and we have one left. There are lots of buds though, and we have so many new shoots. I cannot believe all these new kind of like soft shoots. It's crazy, really wild. So this is obviously doing really well, and it's literally nearly the same height as me now, which is crazy. But this is the trough that I am wanting to plant up. I've had a few different ideas of what I want to do over this area. I thought about maybe scrapping all of this. We were left these two like galvanized steel trough and this little box, and these trees as well, but the trees I don't really love. So I think they're going to go to a new home, and we don't really need this box. I'm not really sure what this is for. So yeah, I was thinking about maybe doing a couple of big plant pots with some bay trees, but I actually think this trough is so lovely and I think it's worth keeping it. So now I've seen that amazing grass display at Sissinghurst Castle, that is what I'm going to do. So yesterday I ordered a ton of plants from Gardening Express, and I'm hoping in the next vlog we can do that together. If the rain holds off, I will get out here and plant this up, which I'm so excited to do. So this is just going to look incredible. I've bought loads of white and green flowers and grasses and things like that. So yeah, hopefully I can plant this up. It has got holes in the bottom, like little holes. I don't know if you can see them there. So it's probably got quite good drainage. I mean, I could drill a couple more holes in it if I needed to. And then I can just chuck a load of soil in here, some good compost, and then I can have a nice big planter, which I think is just going to look really lovely and kind of soften the barn a little bit, because this is kind of on the drive. So we've got this lovely big dogwood, and then obviously the galvanized steel is quite strong. So I think some really whimsical, floaty, fluffy grasses and white flowers will look really nice. But I kind of just use this to put random plants and pots. This is kind of where this stuff lives. I mean, in an ideal world, I'd love to have like a potting shed, but anyways, that is the plan with the planter. So to be continued.